Hey guys, welcome to a garage update for my Mini Cooper. Yes, this is what it remains to be like, and it's almost unrecognizable to my car. The only difference is that this Webuster roof will tell you is my car. All right, so I'm going to do a little garage update. I really want to capture this to see how this car looks like right now and also after, and to give you a little update as well.
Before the video starts, I want to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Xpel Malaysia. Now, many may know them for some of the best paint protection films out in the market, but they also produce excellent window tints. It not only has superior heat rejection, but it has amazing clarity. I've used both Prime XR Plus and Prime XP, and I have never been more satisfied. Do check out the website for more information on the products and network of distributors throughout Malaysia. With that, please enjoy the rest of the video.
Okay, I'm going to walk you through what has happened to the car, what damages we found, and basically why we're doing this extensive body work. And also what other critical things to know when you're sending your car to restore. Alright, so some of you may look at my video and say, Thomas, your car looks amazing, you know, the shiny and stuff. Why are you doing this body work? Well, really up close, there are a lot of rust spots to address. And since the engine is out, we might as well just get the car done completely, right? So there are a lot of mini rust spots over here, and if you look really close, there are little brown spots here that are not completely done yet, but they look like little blisters, like little pimples and rashes. Now, if you don't address them over time, they're going to just keep growing and growing and growing. The good news is, because it's, it's more modern material metal, it doesn't rust in, it just rusts on the surface. But still, it's not nice on the paint. So what they're doing right now is that they strip out all the old paint over here like this, to bare metal, and then they're going to sand it down until all the rust is gone, right? So this last phase, now this is really slow. They're going to use a grinder to grind it down. You can see all these little rust spots that we don't want to have. Previously there were little bubbles over here, okay? And of course the rear here, this panel, we got a couple of rust spots as well. Now, this is the exterior rust spots. Let me show you the interior and also the engine firewall rust spots, which is pretty critical. So my interior is not bad actually, but there's some damages that I didn't know until Kok Peng and the team here found out, right? First and foremost, you can see there are some rust spots right at the footwell near to the firewall. Now that I think has been contributed by the leaking aircon water. There is a little pipe here that was leaking all the aircon water into here. Remember when I first got my car, I did my first little cleanup because it was full of mold. And that's the culprit, and that's why it's all rusty down there, right here and here. And that's not good. We want to remove that before it actually destroys the car, right? Especially the firewall side. Now, the other thing that they found out, now this is not really a rust spot, but it's pretty critical, is the floorboard of the Mini. Now, there is a little dent here and there, and this, what I've been told by Kok Peng, which is the chief here, that this car has been jacked from here, right? They've been jacking up the car from this spot, and it's the wrong place to jack the car. So it's all cracked up here, it's all dent up over here, it's damaged the body. Apparently the jacking spot is actually up front near the subframe. Okay, so if you have a Mini, don't jack your car over here. This is the result. Okay, and because of that, the paint is peeling, and also there's cracking and also rust starting to form, because when you expose metal, you expose them to the elements, right? Very important thing that I didn't know, right? Let's come to the firewall from the front and let's see how rusty it is. So here's the firewall. As you can see, there's some surface rust over here. It looks bad, but actually they're mostly surface, as I was assured by Kok Peng, right? But this is the part that I really wanted to get a look at, because when the firewall is weak, it can crumble, and you got all the exhaust leaking into your car, which I had experienced before in some of my friends' car. It's not pleasant, okay? So this is the one that I really want to get checked at. Now, as far as I see, again, like I said, it's all mostly surface rust, but let's just get to the bottom of it. Let's get it all sanded out. Of course, you can't use this. Sand it out, and then we can get to the bottom, get rid of the rust. The major one is down here. You can see it's starting to peel the epoxy off already. That has to be addressed ASAP, right? But yeah, Mini, the rust isn't that bad. It's not like the structure is being compromised. It's just that we want to do some preventive works before it becomes really, really bad. Right? Let me show you the rear, and then we'll talk about some of the modifications. Alright, so we are at the rear here, and one set of rust problems I have is actually all the bottom part of the window seals here and there, because the rubbers, as the time goes, it just gets less and less tight, and then water starts seeping through, right? That's usually where most of the rust are. But as I can see here, it's not that bad. So that's actually not bad. I think the previous owner did a really good job in making sure the seals are well. And this is why UV is actually the biggest killer for the sun, right? Because it cracks up, it damages all the rubber seals, and then water starts seeping in. Okay, UV, very bad. So don't keep your car under the sun, right? Right? If your house doesn't have a shaded area, sell your house. I'm just kidding, right? Figure something out, right? So down here, my boot area, there are a few things I'm modifying, okay? Now, if you look over there, it used to be the water tank, right? This is going to be removed, and we're just going to keep the one tank over here. This is for the fuel, right? So rather than having two, I only have one. And my fuel tank is going to be here, but we are going to also modify, I believe, the whole area down here so that it'll be more spacious. But where I keep the spare wheel right here, they're all rusted up as well. Alright, and where the battery area is all rusted up, it's also going to address all of that. Okay, so yep, and the door. Let's look at the door. Let me show you something. Okay, so this is how the door looks like when it's bare metal. For those who haven't seen bare metal work, this is bare metal. You can feel it's just the stainless steel. Okay, so why am I showing this? Because I want to show you where they're going to take this car to. They're going to send it all the way down to bare metal, but we're not going to leave it there like that. We're going to spray a layer of epoxy on it, okay? Because the epoxy would be helping the metal from being rusted in the future, okay? Let me show you what it's like if you don't have epoxy, okay? Okay, so this is a great example of a metal, according to Kokping, that is not epoxied. There's no epoxy on it, right? So when you don't have epoxy, water can penetrate through the paint and eventually make your way to the metal and start rusting up, right? Now, so epoxy is like the anti-water layer. Then only you put on the primer. See, a lot of people just put primer on and then they put the paint on. But according to Kokping, especially for minis, you do need a layer of epoxy to help the car, be more resistant to rust. Okay, so that doesn't look very nice. Yeah, and it makes sense, right? Because as long as there's a rust in between the car, right, the metal and the paint, then it will start peeling off, right, exposing weak spots for the car. So right now, we're also going to modify some parts in the engine bay, also in the body. Not major ones. Those things we modified so that the engine can fit in, in a more accurate form. Because my car's been heavily modified here and there. The pipes are here and there. We want to modify so it's neater, can fit all the pipes and the wires neater in the car. Nothing major over there. But as according to the boss, my car isn't that bad of a condition. Let me show you what the epoxy looks like, and then I'll update what's the next step for my Mini Classic touring. Here you have a beautiful mini pickup. Sorry, Abang. Thank you. This car is currently already been put on a layer of epoxy, I believe, and then the primer goes on. Then only the spray paint goes on it, right? So it will look like that all around the car. Yeah. To make sure that the rust stays away from the car, because again, my goal is to keep this car, well, as long as I can. I don't want to sell the car, so I want to make sure the paint is tip-top all around. So let's get it done properly, right? So after this is done, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to send my car to my body to Bufori to get it spray painted, right? Now Bufori, as you guys know, they are an expert in making luxury handcrafted carbon Kevlar pieces. Spraying on those things are not easy. So imagine spraying on that, they can get perfection. So in my metal body, I'm sure that the paint will look gorgeous. Now, as for the color, I'm still torn. I'm still thinking in between, green oak with a little bit of metallic, because classic cars shouldn't have a lot of metallic, or maybe the similar blue color. I'm still sort of debating between both. So let me know what you think. Should it be oak green, or should it be blue again, or maybe it's British racing green? Let me know in the comments below. The top is going to be magnolia or old white English, right? Old English white. Yeah. Let's get in the car and let's see what else I missed. Okay, so that's a summary for this little update. It's really rushed because I really want to capture this before they start doing even more, to see some contrast on the paint and stuff like that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please help me hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more updates in the future. Speaking of updates, I've just spoke to Desmond from KL Auto, and I've spoken to him about actually making my car more comfortable, right? So we want to find ways to reduce noise in the car and also make the ride slightly more supple by working with the chassis stiffness, okay? Because Desmond is an absolute genius in this area. I've seen him work wonders on my Spider, my BMW M2 competition, and also some of my friends' cars and Evo Club members' cars, right? Plus, we're going to work on the audio system, so my car's going to sound really nice. Alright, so those are my updates. Stay tuned for it, and I believe by the next week the car will be done here, and then we're going to send it to spray paint, and while the engine is being worked in. So I think in the next 1 or 2 months the engine should be completed with its overhaul, and then we're going to pair everything together to get the car, the body and the drivetrain together to get it running. Right. As for my interior, I'll give you more updates in the future. That one, I'm still thinking about how we can get the interior done. Right. But this is an update, and I hope you enjoy it. Till next time, love you guys. Stay tuned. Keep it 100%. Bye.